a couple of things. People are developing problems inside. An illness inside is developing. That's what leads us to so many emotional struggles. It's an illness developing in the mind, the brain, in here, okay? Really in the brain tissue. Then from there, it transfers to the ghost. It transfers to the ghost. So I want to just do a little bit here. All right. So you got your, hopefully you can see this. I got new markers. Okay? So you got your brain, right? There's your brain. Just squiggly brain. All right. So that's your brain. Can you see that? All right? That's your physical brain. And what happens is we get an illness internally in that physical brain. We get an illness developing. Something's wrong with that brain. Something's developing in there. Okay? And as we do that, we now have a physical problem with our brain. It's real. We're struggling. Anxiety, depression, OCD, bipolar, okay? Mania, psychosis, neurosis, sadness, guilt that's unexplainable, all of it. A mental struggle, all of it. There's some type of illness developing in the brain. Physical, okay? Stop blaming it on yourself. It's physical, right? Of course, we can have emotional struggles. Of course, we can have all kinds of different problems with emotional struggles. Of course. There's so much abuse that happens in so many people's lives. There's all kinds of psychological torture, psychological warfare on people, in people's lives. There's bad relationships, all of this, right? But that adds to it, right? There's trauma, there's struggles, that adds to it. It's like we have something physical brewing in the brain, creating things. Our anxiety, the depression, the dementia, the Alzheimer's, the memory loss, the brain fog, the neurosis, the psychosis, the mania, the bipolar, the OCD, even the mildest versions of all that, the ADHD, all of it. Something's brewing in the brain. Something is developing physically. And then, take an emotional struggle, take a bad relationship, take a bad partner, take something that happened to you, take a wrongdoing that happened to you. Totally misunderstood, totally betrayed. You got a knife in your back, all of it. Take all that, and then it compels onto also the physical part. So now you're at the therapist, now you're at the psychiatrist. Now you're looking for help. And you got two things going on. The therapist doesn't know, the psychiatrist doesn't know. They don't know you actually also have a physical problem going on in the brain. And then they're focused on the emotional problem, right? They're focused on the emotional stuff. Hey, you were betrayed. You were misunderstood. People didn't understand you. Something happened to you. You were abused. Something went on, right? You got that. But you also got the physical. Are you guys with me on this? So get this, right? There's the physical, and then there's the ghost. And then there is the ghost. Yep. Here's the ghost. That's the ghost. What is that? I'm going to radiate that out a little bit. That's the ghost that lives inside your head. That's your soul. That is it right there. That's your physical brain. And here is the non-physical. Call it metaphysical, call it spiritual, call it whatever you like. Call it ghost. Whatever, that is your spirit, if that's what you want to say. That is your soul. That is your physical. On the physical side, you got things developing. You got problems going on. Something's happening inside here. We're going to talk about the different things. Metaphysically, you got your ghost right here. Okay? What happens is these interact. When we have problems emotionally that are also problems physically, there's an interaction that occurs. This is where the lines are so crossed or blurred or however you want to say it or see it. This is why people struggle forever, for years. They're working on things. They're going here, they're going there. They're signing up to these programs here for their mental. They're doing affirmations. They're going to this therapist. They're going to this coach. They're going everywhere because they think, hey, it's all emotional. I can tackle this. I can fix this. I can turn this around. But they're struggling for 6 months. They're a little better. 3 months later, they get triggered. Boom, back into it. They're struggling. Now to another therapist. Now to another psychiatrist. Now to another coach. Now doing another program. Now doing another course, whatever it is. And then now you're here online here. You're here online there. You're finding all this information. You're like, I could beat this. Okay, I'm getting a little better again. I'm changing my life a little bit. I'm starting to spend more time, quality time with myself. I'm doing all this. And boom. Boom, you're down again. You're down again. You got triggered. Ooh, you got triggered into it. All over again. And so what happens is what people don't realize is because something's happening in here physically, inside the brain. And then we go along and we're trying to remedy it here. We're trying to fix the ghost. We're trying to fix the soul. We're trying to fix our spirit. We're trying to fix our emotional aspect of us. The ghost that lives in here. And they live together. See this right here? Okay? I'm putting the ghost in here too. Right? Because that's what happens. And something I want to bring up, which is really, really incredible information. All right? When you go through a trauma or a struggle, it could be small to someone, large to you, or you go through some kind of emotional bad news, or you've been betrayed really bad, or maybe some abuse happened, or whatever it is, maybe psychological warfare, maybe psychic attacks, whatever it is, what happens is maybe just something occurred, like a car accident, maybe it's something like that, where it's black and white in the moment. What happens is your soul exits your physical brain. It exits your physical brain. That's why you'll hear people say, I've talked about this before, where I was looking at myself while that was happening in that moment. I got that bad news and it was like I was out of body. I was out of my body. Yeah, because you were. It felt like an out-of-body experience. It really did. It felt like I was out of body, man. I was looking down at myself. I was looking at myself. I didn't even know where I was. I just saw myself. I was knocked out of myself. Because what happened while you were struggling, while that struggle happened, while something occurred, while you got that bad news, while you were traumatized, while you had that betrayal, while something happened to you. I hear it when people cheat on people, when relationships. It's that moment you find out you've been cheated on. It's that moment you found out you were betrayed. So many people, what happens is instantly in that moment, their soul leaves their physical brain. It goes boom, and it's out of body. It's over here on the side. It's over here. It's over here. It's over here. It gets knocked out of you. Your soul gets knocked out of you. That's how it works. Bad news? Boom. Oh, out of body. There's a reason for that. Because what happens right here in your physical brain is stuff starts to heat up and burn up. The emotional centers of the brain start to get heated up and burn up. See the emotional centers of the brain right here? They start to get heated up and burn up. And the soul has to leave so you don't get soul damage, severe soul damage. And that's what happens to so many people. They get soul injuries, but they go out of body to try to prevent severe soul injuries, right? So their soul, the ghost, pops right out. It gets knocked right out. You just found out you got cheated on? And the soul has to leave so you don't get soul damage, severe soul damage. And that's what happens to so many people. They get soul injuries, but they go out of body to try to prevent severe soul injuries, right? So their soul, the ghost, pops right out. It gets knocked right out. You just found out you got cheated on? Someone just told a huge lie about you? You were betrayed? Someone abused you out of nowhere? Maybe it's long-term abuse and you're so allergic to the bad people, you're so allergic to the bad situation that literally your soul lives outside of your body. And now you got depersonalization that's actually not necessarily physical anymore. You got that depersonalization. Your soul is living outside of your body, and most people are walking around while their soul is outside of their body. And that's the ghost, and it sits outside of the body. And say you didn't have a really difficult situation, something didn't really happen that's really grave or bad, didn't get that bad news or that bad betrayal or whatever it is, and you're struggling because your brain is dirty. It's got junk and garbage in it. Your brain has got junk and garbage in it. Solvents, petrochemicals, toxic heavy metals. So it's got solvents, chemicals, toxic heavy metals in here, right? I'm putting little markers, deposits of toxic heavy metals, okay? Some solvents in here too. Let's see what we can do with that. Maybe we get red for solvents. Let's do that. Solvents are in here as well. We got the red, we got the black, right? The toxic heavy metals, the red, the solvents, okay? And what happens is we got something physical brewing, something physical wrong. We got the anxiety, we got the depression, we got the depersonalization that's physical, we got the bipolar, we got the mania, we got the OCD, we got the ADHD with it all, we got the severe brain fog, we got the memory loss, we could even move into dementia, whatever, we got all that. And then we got the neurosis, then we got the psychosis, then we got the mania. Yep. Lisa, that's a really funny comment. Yeah. We got something physically going on, physically wrong in there. We do. Let's go into it a little deeper now.